Warning, this show contains strong language and topics that some viewers may find offensive. Listener discretion is advised.
So WWE have announced the official United Kingdom Wrestling Championship tournament. Whoa. What the fuck?
I wrote an article earlier today on Suplah.com, and I said with every announcement that WWE does, there's going to be questions as to how things are going to work. So this is the second major tournament that WWE has done exclusively for the network. I'm not counting the Dusty Rhodes Classic because that is part of NXT, whereas something like the Cruiserweight Classic was its own specific show. That was a tournament that happened kind of late summer, early fall, August, that sort of stuff. And that became really popular. A lot of people liked it to the point where it revitalized the Cruiserweight division. They got their own championship, they got put on Raw, and then they got their own brand. They got their own show that airs weekly on the network. This is big because it seems like this is what WWE wants to do. Now, for a lot of the wrestling fans who might just be WWE fans and they don't really know much about pro wrestling over in the UK, you might have heard of Progress, might have heard of Revolution Pro Wrestling, probably heard of WCPW, especially if you watch our show, mainly because worked in a couple of episodes. Look, I cocked that sentence up, but that's not the point. The point is that it's starting to get a bit bigger, UK wrestling. It's starting to gain a lot of traction over here and elsewhere in the world, to the point where there's a television station called ITV in the UK. ITV is the second biggest broadcaster in our country after the BBC. And everyone knows who the BBC is, right? So ITV's really big. And back in about the 70s, 80s, they used to have a show called World of Sport. And this was a show specifically around wrestling. It aired on a Saturday night, primetime TV, dinner time television. So people would watch they'd have their fish and chips and they'd watch World of Sport. And that's where characters like Big Haystack, Big Daddy, they got no, is it Giant Haystack? Sorry, it was Giant Haystack.
It was indeed Giant Haystack.
Sorry, my bad. It was a little bit before my time. I'm doing my best to.
It was only like 20 years before we were born.
Yeah, so. I'm trying to keep on top of it. But Giant Haystacks, Big Daddy, that's where these guys who were legendary in the British wrestling scene. That's kind of where they made their impact. For one reason or another, ITV cancelled the show. They weren't interested in wrestling anymore. I think this was mainly because WWF was starting to gain traction over here, especially when Sky came over, and when Sky was introduced, it was a big thing. So ITV started to show interest in having wrestling again. And there's reports that WWE are really worried, and this is why this has led to this tournament, or at least these are rumours. We don't work backstage, we don't work for WWE, obviously, we're just fans. So
we don't?
We don't, surprisingly. I've been waiting for my check for at least 8 years. I'm guessing
all that
I don't
work
work
for nothing.
But we're just fans, so we can only speculate. And I think this is one of the reasons why they've introduced this tournament.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's run down a couple of the basics for those who maybe haven't heard of this major, groundbreaking news. Mm-hmm. So, what is it? It is a 16-man single-elimination tournament to crown the new WWE United Kingdom Champion. In the same vein that they have the United States Championship, they now have this United Kingdom Championship.
Although, can I just say, really quickly, am I the only one that actually kind of likes the design?
Oh, the design is really fucking cool. It's based on the coat of arms. It's got nice little brogues and everything on it, but there's one criticism of it.
Go on.
You see that little animal there on the right of the belt?
Yes.
What is that?
Is it an eagle?
That is a horse.
It's a horse. Oh my god, they've been watching Horse.
Since when has the English coat of arms had a horse on it? In my mind, it's always been a unicorn. But I guess they forgot about the horn. No, it's always been a unicorn. It's always been a lion and a unicorn on the fucking British coat of arms. But no, they just put a horse on there.
Could have gone with a dragon. Come on. You could have had a dragon.
Now that's just our belt. That's just our belt that you're trying to describe here.
Look, it doesn't matter, right? Anyway.
With a dragon and a horse on it.
Yes, so...
Just put a robot on there as well. Why not?
Why not? Put Andy's face right in the front. The suplex.
No, we want the belt to look good.
Oh, good point. So, who is in this tournament, Sam?
A lot of people. To be honest, I'm not going to lie, I'm not too heavily involved in the British wrestling scene, and the people that I do know are signed up to exclusive contracts with other companies. So naturally, I've heard of only 2 or 3 of these names before, but there are 18 names. A couple will be alternates in case of injury or what have you, but the names are as follows. Wolfgang, Trent Seven, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, Sam Gradwell, James Drake, T-Bone, Tucker, Jordan Devlin, Joseph Connors, H.C. Dyer, Chris Tyler, Roy Johnson, Dan Maloney, Jack Stars, Tiger Ali, Ringo Ryan, and Saxon Huxley. Now, out of all of those, I have heard of Trent Seven and Pete Dunne.
Ironically, I've heard of Joseph Connors because of WCPW, obviously.
Oh yeah, he's the heavyweight champion.
Well, he's not anymore. He dropped it to Drew Galloway, and that's probably why he dropped it. He probably got wind that this was going to happen. So yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. There's quite a few there that I'm not familiar with, surprisingly.
Well, let's have a rundown of the list and see, because there are quite a few notable names on there that we've not heard of. So, okay. Trent Seven and Pete Dunne, they form a tag team known as British Strong Style. Okay. And they compete primarily for Progress, where they are the Progress Tag Team Champions. Okay. But Pete Dunne is also a double singles champion. He's currently the Progress World Champion and the Fight Club Pro Champion. And Trent Seven has won a number 1 contenders match for Wolfgang's ICW Heavyweight Championship. So Wolfgang is a mainstay of ICW from what I can tell. A lot of these people are from Fight Club Pro, which is a promotion co-owned by Seven himself. Right. So that's interesting to see. A couple of other names are fixtures of the Northwest scene, particularly Drake, T-Bone, and Gradwell. There's the over-the-top wrestling champion, Jordan Devlin, and Pro Wrestling Ulster's Tucker. They are Irish. Okay. So we have a couple of non-English people in there. We have a couple of Irish people in there.
Well, they did say, even though it's called the United Kingdom Championship, they did say that they're going to have Irish people in there. And for those who are culturally inept, the American Andy Quans or the Australian Andy Quans or the Chinese Andy Quans out there, Ireland is not part of the United Kingdom. The Republic of Ireland is not part of the United Kingdom. Northern Ireland is, but the Republic of Ireland isn't. That's why we have 2 different islands, right? Anyway, that's that.
The tip of Ireland is part of what we consider to be the United Kingdom. The Republic of Ireland is the majority of that little island off the coast of our own tiny island.
Yeah.
That's geography for you. Now, there's a couple of important names that aren't in it. Like, particularly, like, big British indie names that aren't on there. Most notably, Will Ospreay, Marty Scurll, who are both signed to Ring of Honor. Will Ospreay with New Japan as well, so there's no way he's going to be performing. Jimmy Havoc, Mark Andrews, Nathan Cruz, Zack Sabre Jr. There's people that are signed to TNA, of course, like Drew Galloway, Bram, Grado, Rockstar Spud. And Magnus isn't on there either, weirdly enough. But I think he's primarily focusing on the American scene more than the British scene.
He's got to defend that GFW championship at some point, man.
That legendary reign.
He's training for his next GFW championship defense, whenever that may be.
Whenever the time comes, he will definitely be ready. It's not like he has anything else to do. And there's also a couple of people who are signed up for the aforementioned World of Sport revival, namely Dave Mastiff, Joe Coffey, Rampage Brown, El Ligero, Bubblegum, Shaw Samuels, and Kenny Williams, among others.
So now that you've just mentioned World of Sport, I kind of just want to hone in on that a little bit. Because we have people from all over the world who listen and watch our videos. So they might not know what World of Sport is and why it is terrifying WWE. Now, WWE in the UK, and we've mentioned this before when we've talked about WWE and TNA, WWE is on a paid subscription service with Sky Sports. So you have to pay not only to get Sky, but you then have to pay extra to get Sky Sports. This has football, rugby, cricket. I think the NFL, when it's on, is a... Oh no, that might actually be on terrestrial. I might be wrong there. But you have to pay a premium rate to get WWE. And that's all of its programming. You might be able to just get away with just buying Sky, and then occasionally on Sky One you'll catch like 1 hour recap of Raw a week on a Saturday morning. But if you were a diehard WWE fan where you can watch the shows live at 1 o'clock in the morning, you've got to have Sky Sports or stream it illegally. Whatever. I don't condone that, but I'm just saying that's one option that you can go with. So it's kind of cut off for a lot of UK viewers. You wouldn't really think with people, the amount of crowds that they can gather for Raw, SmackDown, and even NXT. But it is a premium service. ITV is not. It is a free channel that anyone can access, right? Now, going back to when we mentioned WWE versus TNA, a couple of years ago, TNA was more popular, had more viewers in the UK than WWE. And they were on Challenge TV. This was a network that no one really takes seriously. I don't mean to offend them if that is...
What do you mean they don't take the network with Takeshi's Castle seriously?
Right? It's not really a network that a lot of people watch. ITV is. It airs the Queen's speech every Christmas, right? Speaking of Christmas, not only is it going to be on the second biggest broadcasting channel in the UK, it's going to be airing during the week between Christmas and New Year on a Saturday night at dinner time. The time where
millions and millions and millions of people have the opportunity to see some good old-fashioned British wrestling and don't have to pay anything for it.
No.
This is a first in so many years. You can guarantee that this is the reason why WWE has introduced this entire concept, just to alleviate some of the fears that they may have, and to also maybe capitalize on this potentially newfound resurgence of wrestling in a foreign market.
Yeah, this to me is not, the WWE is genuinely, they might genuinely be interested in the stars over here and the athleticism over here, but it seems more like a business move. The WWE's second biggest audience is probably the UK. Now, they're getting a show that, I've got to be honest, is going to be on par in terms of popularity as WWE. We could see a wrestling war, not quite the Monday Night Wars, I'm not going to go that far to the extent, but we could see a legitimate threat to WWE's hold of wrestling in the UK with this show, right? WWE could lose the UK as its second biggest territory because of World of Sport. That is how big of a news this is, and that's why we're doing this quick little video, because people don't seem to realise how much of a big deal this is going to be with World of Sport versus WWE and this upcoming wrestling battle that's going to happen. Right? It's going to happen. And on top of that, there have been reports, we've not really mentioned it on the show or on the website, but there have been reports that WWE has reached out to several independent UK wrestlers and offers a very special kind of contract. I don't know if you've heard about this, Sam.
I haven't. Please tell me more.
So there's this special contract that they have given to these pro wrestlers. They don't technically work for the WWE. They're not going to be flown over to the Performance Center. They're not going to join NXT or the main roster. They are going to stay in the UK and they're going to wrestle at UK independent shows. What it is to put them into a contract where they get paid not to show up on big promotions such as WCPW, Progress, Revolution Pro, TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan. So they stay in the UK, and it kind of, I don't want to say it handicaps these wrestlers because now they can't appear on television. They stay on the independent scene, but they get paid to not be on it. It's a very weird contract that I've never heard of before. Again, we don't know if this is actually true. It is something that has been rumored. No one who has been offered this contract has ever come out and said that that's what they've got. That's the deal that they have. But that could be WWE's way of also kind of trying to handicap World of Sport specifically, I think, more than something like WCPW. It's going to be a very, very interesting time. And on top of that, what do they plan with the tournament? I mean,
very good question.
Triple H in the press conference, I don't know if you watched it, Sam.
I wasn't able to, no. I woke up to this news. I was like,
right.
Hang on, what the fuck?
Triple H in the announcement, press conference that happened at about 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock today, he said that the ultimate goal is to have a weekly television show recorded in the UK and aired on the network. With the success of the cruiserweight division, I can see them doing that.
That's that. Whoa. Oh, whoa. Holy fuck.
What's this going to mean?
This means that 2016, it was in question before whether it was 2001, but unanimously 2016 is the craziest year we have ever seen in professional wrestling.
Without a doubt.
There's no doubt in my mind anymore. It's the last 2 weeks of the year, and they pulled this out of their fucking hat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared. I'm scared of what next year is going to hold. I'm excited, but I'm also fearful, because what the fuck? They're going crazy. They're going full balls deep in on their plans to take a monopoly over everything they can. They're raiding New Japan at the start of the year, and by the end of the year, they're locking in a different territory overseas.
They're basically making a UK promotion, a specifically UK-based promotion. So you're going to have Raw, SmackDown, NXT, 205 Live, and whatever the UK show is. That's going to be five wrestling brands.
Now, saying that, it could be that. Or another idea that I've seen being knocked about is that this particular championship won't be on WWE TV. It will instead be defended at various independent circuits.
Oh, okay.
Such as, say you have a Progress show. You have the Progress World Championship being defended, but you also have the WWE United Kingdom Championship being defended against whoever's on that roster. And they hop about from different independent circuits. They would be signed to WWE, of course, but WWE would allow them to go to, say, Rev Pro, WCPW even, maybe, and they would defend the WWE belt there. And that would draw in a new audience for this previously unheard of promotion. And then it would get more eyes on various different products, and it would be an interesting thing to do. Because, to be honest, WWE already has too much. They have Raw, SmackDown, NXT, 205 Live, they have several different championships spaced across all of these different shows. I don't think they're going to have time to slot in a British championship, so I think instead what they should do, or what they're rumored to do, is have it defended at various independent circuits, and have a variety of challengers, and obviously book who they want to hold it. I think that could be an interesting idea, and it could be something that we've not really seen before.
If they do that, it's basically recreating the old territory system, but specifically in the UK.
They're trying to become the NWA. The WWE NWA.
History repeats itself.
But here's a fun little theory that I've thought of about.
Go on.
Right. So WWE decides to do a cruiserweight tournament. Will Ospreay doesn't go for it. They then decide to do a British tournament. Will Ospreay doesn't go for it. How hard are they trying to appeal to Will Ospreay right now?
Maybe he just doesn't want to be any part of it. Maybe he's just having fun doing what he's doing.
Maybe that's it. But the WWE are so hung up on trying to appease this one dude that maybe this is all a grand scheme, a grand conspiracy theory to sign one of the best British wrestlers in a good long while.
Could potentially be that, but I think, I've got to be honest, I think it's more aimed at trying to beat World of Sport to the punch. That's what I think. That's
also a part of it. I think it's just two birds with one stone, in all honesty. But nevertheless, I'm super excited because not only am I going to be seeing British wrestling for the first time ever, I've never really watched a British wrestling show. This is going to kickstart that motivation so that I'm able to finally see what homegrown talent we have in this country as opposed to the US indies. I'm super excited to see what new, fresh faces we're going to be seeing.
I'm genuinely excited to see what's going to happen in 2017, specifically now with the UK wrestling scene. If WWE sets up a camp over here, you've got World of Sport, you've got places like Progress and Revolution Pro who are kind of, making waves in the independent circuit. What is going to happen now? Is it going to be that WWE is just going to completely destroy all of these independent promotions and just snap up all of their talent, and basically we get WWE and you've got ITV as WCW and WWE with their show, and you kind of got that going on specifically in the UK. What is going to happen?
It's madness. It's absolute insanity. And you got to think, one dude was kicking himself over this. Bad news balls himself, Wade Barrett.
Why do you say that?
He was, for the longest time, Wade Barrett was the only British dude in the WWE. Then he up sticks and leaves in the middle of the year. And now look what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I bet you think Neville is kicking himself as well. Because if he's not involved in this, what the fuck? You had a cruiserweight division that he's not a part of, and he wasn't even a part of the tournament. You have this that he's now not even a part of. What the fuck? He's not even injured.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Neville's such a great talent, and I can't even remember the last time I saw him on television.
Exactly, and this is a problem with all of this, is that they're having all of this new tournaments and all of this new content and all of these new people show up, but they're doing it kind of at the expense of people that they already have.
Yeah, I think the only way that they can make that better is to let Neville become one of the big faces of the UK promotion. If
I mean, he's the best UK wrestler I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So it would be nonsense to not only not include him in the Cruiserweight tournament and also not to include him in this project.
Well, the Cruiserweight tournament, I guess I can kind of understand, because it's kind of its own thing. But when you're making a brand, like when NXT was first started on the network and they were trying to up that, they would have people like John Cena, CM Punk, Damien Sandow, when he was like really popular at one point. They would come to NXT, and that would bring eyes, because don't forget also, NXT at that time had an international deal, right? Even when the network wasn't around, it had an international deal. And it brought eyes to the product, and that's kind of how it helped NXT become what it is. You're going to have those established stars. Who's to say that we won't see Neville become one of the main guys of this potential new UK brand? Who's to say that we won't have someone like Sheamus show up and have a couple of matches? Heck, fucking Finn Balor was there at the press announcement for the show. I know he's injured, but he was fucking there.
I know, right? It's insanity, and I think another thing we've kind of neglected to mention is the commentary team for this. It's going to be...
This is an interesting one. Go on.
Michael Cole,
yep,
the voice of WWE, and Nigel McGuinness, who has recently left Ring of Honor, where he was for countless years.
Yeah.
And now he's involved with WWE. He played the long game and he won. Props to Nigel fucking McGuinness.
Well, maybe did he leave Ring of Honor because this deal came through?
He left Ring of Honor days ago.
It
was announced maybe less than a week ago that he's no longer the matchmaker of Ring of Honor, and he's practically out of the company. And now, days later, he shows up at the WWE's United Kingdom press conference. It just seems like too much of a specific timing for it to just be coincidence.
No, of course. My theory is they contacted him. And if you're a wrestler, that is probably the mecca being called by WWE. And, Nigel McGuinness isn't a wrestler anymore.
No. Who is Nigel McGuinness, for those who maybe don't know?
I don't really know.
He is a legendary, I believe he's Irish. He might be British, but he's from this home turf, and he was one of the most popular wrestlers in, the mid-2000s. He was heavily involved with Ring of Honor. He had several good matches with Daniel Bryan when they were both knocking about in there.
Didn't he show up in TNA as well?
He did as well. Basically, this dude he's never really gained that sort of, mega popularity that, say, Barrett or Neville have, because he's never come into contact with WWE before. Mm. And even when he was in TNA, it was there for a brief period of time, sort of in the olden days. Mm. So this guy has never really had any big exposure. People know him. If you research him, you can see what kind of big impact he's had on the business. He's held many championships, he's had many a great match, but now he's finally getting some more recognition. Even if he doesn't wrestle, he's great on the commentary, because he commentates for Ring of Honor sometimes, and he's damn good at what he does. So I'm very excited to see him be the voice of this new show. It's super, happy to see this guy who, for the longest time, has eluded, mainstream popularity and is now getting it. It's a nice little thing to see.
it just surprises me that Michael Cole is going to be doing it.
I guess, but he's the primary voice of a WWE.
But that to me, I know everyone shits on Michael Cole. I know they do. But the fact that they're getting him to at least be on this tournament, I'm not saying specifically for the rest of the brand if it goes ahead, but to be at this tournament shows that they really are fucking investing in this idea. Because not even the cruiserweights got that. They got Daniel Bryan and Mauro Ranallo, which nothing wrong with that. But the fact that they are giving the lead commentator for the WWE, he's going to be on the tournament for the UK, just is very surprising. Because I would have thought they would have said, "Oh, we'll have Nigel McGuinness and Neville." There you go. That'll be the two Brits. They can talk about British things, you know, drinking tea, enjoying the Queen, like that. They'll do that. But no, they've
fish
got
and chips,
fish
apples
and
and pears, Fanny. You know, British
all
things.
that British stuff. But no, they're giving Michael Cole, and yeah, you can shit on Michael Cole and his skills as a commentator, but he is the lead commentator, and I think it shows that they are really investing. It's going to be
I'm super excited.
2017 is going to be insane.
If you thought 2016 was weird, I'm worried for next year. It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be topped. It's got to be topped.
I think that's all of the information that we have about this. So if you want to maybe wrap up with some final thoughts.
Prepare yourselves, I guess. To me, it sounds like we're going to have a major wrestling war on our hands. And I'm excited but scared. Excited but scared.
Oh my god, this traffic is ridiculous. The whole road's blocked. I'm late for work at this point. Oh look, this guy in front of me's got a bumper sticker. What does it say? Suplah Block, live on YouTube, Sunday, December 18th. Okay, that's kind of weird, but whatever. What street am I even on? We'll be live 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. GMT lane? What the fuck kind of name is that for a road? Oh look, there's a traffic sign. What does it say? Good luck guessing which hosts will be there. It's kind of rude. Oh, this fucking traffic won't move! God damn, hey! Someone behind me just fucking honked their horn. Kind of sound like Andy. This is stupid. Whoever thought a roadblock was a good idea?